So I'm starting on the clothes now. This is not the doll I'm using, but it's the same size and shape. So I'll use her as a template. I want to make some, what do you call them? Are they pantaloons or knickerbockers? Just to go underneath the dress. I've made the pattern, just used my graph paper and put it on tracing paper. And the fabric I'm gonna use is this vintage. This is a vintage handkerchief, I think. Yeah, and this one is as well. Got loads of vintage fabrics. So this is like an off-white colour. I didn't want sparkling white. That's what I'm gonna use to make the knickerbockers, pantaloons, whatever. And then this this beautiful detailed lace, I'm going to use that for the cuffs at the bottom, not at the top, because you won't see that. Would you believe me first mistake already? So, no, I wasn't supposed to do a running stitch on the top, the waistband. It was supposed to be on the leg, so I can pull it together and then add the lace onto the bottom. Never mind. Start again. Oh my god, I just can't cope. So I've attached the lace and that to the knickers, and now because of the bird's legs I can't sew the pants and then put them on, so I'm going to have to stitch them straight onto the doll, which I tell you what, if you've ever made a pair of trousers, you'd understand it is really, really fiddly. And I don't know how she'd get them on herself anyway, with a great struggle. So that girl is never going to get those knickers off. Oh, what a sting. Won't be able to wash them for a lifetime. Never will I ever make a pair of knickers for a bare-legged woman again. That was the most fiddliest thing I have ever done. I couldn't do an invisible ladder stitch because it was just really awkward. So I've had to do a whip stitch on the outside, and it was starting to fray and stuff. You can see the stitches, but I mean, in real life, I suppose that's what she'd have to do, because I don't know how she'd get a pair of knickers over her feet. So I've made some designs for the blouse using my graph paper, then traced it with the tracing paper, then put it onto just a Kellogg's cornflakes box, cereal box. What I was thinking of, in that program, the Waltons. Was it the Waltons? No, the Little House on the Prairie, where they used to wear those dresses with all the lace down the front. So what I'm thinking, I'll make a blouse similar to that, because that'll be like steampunky. And I'm going to put the lace on this panel and stitch it over the front of the blouse. The reason why I've cut the front out is because it'll be less bulk for the doll. I don't want it being too bulky and then it won't look right. These are the sleeves. I'm going to do a running stitch along the sleeves like I done with those belly warmers, and pull it so it gathers everything up together, because I want the sleeves to be like puffy. How can I do? Well, yeah, puffy sleeves. Yeah, buy blouses nowadays with puffy sleeves. So once I cut all of that out, and then I don't know which fabric to use yet. It's going to be a plain white. Now I'll get cracking. I've decided on the fabric to use for the blouse. I'll go with this silky thing. I got it from, is it Contrad? Can't remember. You only paid for postage and packaging, you got the fabric for free. And this is gorgeous. This is the back of it. And that's the front. It's a lovely silky off-white. It looks white through the camera, but it is off-white. Whether or not I can stitch with it is another thing, but I'll give it a whirl. Well, this blouse is turning out to be just as fiddly. So fiddly gathering the sleeves and then trying to stitch them in place. It looks alright at the front, but look at the mess at the back. I think I'll have a break and then start it again because the stitches are just so tiny and fiddly. Well, the blouse is nearly finished. I've just put it on the doll just to see what it looks like. I was gonna gather the sleeves so they'd be tight and then sew a bit of lace on, but I quite like them like this. I don't know what you call it, where it's got a long sleeve at the end, wherever. So what I'm gonna do is turn it back inside out, stitch some lace on, turn it back the other way, and as you can see at the back, I use far too much material for the back because these are really skinny dolls, but I'm always getting things wrong, so much better to have too much than too little. So I'll get on with that. I've sewn the lace onto the cuffs. I decided against putting a claw hand there. I've just put the original back because I quite like the see-through whitish effect. So I haven't sewn the back yet because it's really awkward with this silk. So what I've done is put the clips in place to try and make it like, I folded it down so there's a seam and then I put the clips on. So I'm going to leave it like that for an hour or two. See if it'll set a seam like in a crease, as if you'd like iron the crease. Yes, so, and I'm going to have a break because my back is absolutely killing me. I've finished the blouse, I've stitched the back of it. I've managed to do an invisible ladder stitch with that, so that's fine. I mean, I don't know if I'll leave it like this with just the blouse. I might put something over the top, I don't know yet, I'm unsure. I've stitched the blouse into the belly warmers, so it's not sticking out all over the place when I'm fixing the dress on. And this is the bit that I'm dreading but excited for because I've never done one before. I'm going to make a crinoline to shape the dress. It'll attach at the waist and come out almost like in a bell shape. Well, a half bell shape. I think I'm going to have to get back to the drawing board or try and craft something out of foam before I try with the permanent materials. I'll get on with that. So, out of some thin wire in either form, I've made a mock-up of the crinoline, the shape that I want it to be. Nowhere on YouTube does it tell you, well, show you how to make a half crinoline. They're always those full hooped ones. So, figuring it out. I haven't done any measurements or anything, it was just a quick mock-up just to see. As you can see, the wire is only thin and it's not really holding its shape. But I'll be using the warbler, the thermoplast. And what's good with that is, when I heat it up, it'll bend in any shape I want it to. If it dries, if it cools down and goes in a shape that I don't want it to, I can just heat it up again and manipulate it into the shape. So with the thin wire, it'll just hang like that and it won't flip the skirt out the way I want it. But the warbler, it'll be a solid form, so that'll be better. But this is just so fiddly. I've measured this time. I've cut 4 strips 14 centimeters for the panels of the crinoline. Then this is the waistband, and then this is the bottom half hoop. So I'm going to heat it up now. Fingers crossed that everything goes well. This is what I've got so far. To hold the shape and to cool it down quicker, I just wrapped it round the lemonade bottle and held it there just for a minute or two. So that's held its shape. For the waist of the doll, just heated it up and then manipulated it round the waist to the shape I wanted it to go. Not tight on just yet. I'm gonna do all that after I've done the dress and that. Then I could still heat it up while the garment's in place. But I suppose it depends which fabric I'm using. If I use silk and heat it up, I think that'll melt it. So I'll just have to do some tests with the heat gun and fabric to see which fabric's best. Hopefully it doesn't, because I've picked out this gorgeous fabric for the dress. Oh, I never thought of that. No planning ahead, you see. So I'll see where I go from next. This is what I've come up with so far. I'll have to put it back on the doll and keep heating it up, because these middle sections I want to push out. I've just been pushing them out with a pencil, because I want the dress to flick out further, because I'll be attaching it to the crinoline. It does look messy, but you won't be able to see that once the dress is in place. I just need to make sure that the dress will flick out as far as I want it to, so it doesn't look awkward. So what I'm doing here is a very fiddly job. For the inside of the crinoline, I thought I could just put one piece of fabric and wrap it inside and glue it, but no, because of the shape of it, I've had to cut many panels and stick it inside. It's just very thin cotton, because I want this to be lightweight. And then I've wrapped cotton around the back of it, and I'm having to, well, that was handy that I put the cotton inside, because instead of gluing, I'm just wrapping it and stitching it around the frame and into the inside cotton. This won't be seen, so it doesn't matter about how ugly it looks and all the stitches, but I just need something that I can stitch into, because I'll be putting like the dress over the top of it. I need to be able to stitch into it to secure the dress. And it's like a bit of backing. It acts like a petticoat, because in those days they used to wear about 3 or 4 petticoats. So there we go. Wow, that was super fiddly, but I've managed to get it all stitched up. It looks like a Frankenstein skirt. So now I've got a base on which I can put the dress on. So that should make life more easier. And I thought the hardest part of this doll would be the face up, but no, it's the clothing. This is what the crinoline looks like on the doll. Needs a bit tweaking at the front, but I can just heat the what's it called, the warbler up to shape that round the waist, or even I could tie it on. Well, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. I measured the cage 24 centimeters around the bottom and then doubled it, and then cut the fabric out to that size. And then I done a gathering stitch along the top of it. So now what I'm gonna have to do, this fabric is, it's gorgeous, but it's terrible for fraying. I had to put a hem in and stitch along here, because I thought while I'm gathering this along, it's only gonna fray even more. And as you can see, just by stitching that, it's frayed quite a lot. So I'm going to have to shape it and then try and attach it to the cage. Very fiddly. This whole project's fiddly, but it's fun. So, I think I've lost some footage because I was trying to do the ending piece, the videos together, and the ending bit of sewing this is missing, but wasn't much. It's all attached now. You can't see the crinoline. I've just stitched up the back here an invisible ladder stitch. That was very awkward. And at the top, it's a bit raggy. You can see a bit of the white showing through, but once this is all sewn onto the doll, that won't be seen. And I just sewed some lace at the bottom. I'm in two minds whether to stitch lace or ribbon up the sides of it. Not sure about that. So underneath the dress, didn't want bloomers to show, even though it was so fiddly and took me a long time, but I've done them now. So what I did is cut some of this nice paisley fabric, and I just stitched a hem on both sides, but it was longer than this. Gathered it and wrapped it round just to see what size I would need it. Anyway, I came up with this size. I know it does look long, but once it's gathered and everything, it fit perfectly. It looked really nice without the lace, but it looked too modern, and I wanted to look like Victorian era. So I stitched this, it's like an off-white, like a distressed lace. I tried to do it on the sewing machine, but it was just too fiddly, so I've hand stitched it. Just a little running stitch. I don't know how neat those stitches are. But I found when I was coming to the end of it, I don't know if I was excited to finish it because my hands were killing sewing it. My stitches seemed to get bigger, but looks alright. So what I'll be doing is fitting the dress, pinning it, fitting the skirt and pinning it. See how it all goes. What I seen on Gone with the Wind, one of my favourite films, they used to wear I know it went over the arms. It was like a shawl, and it went over the arms and sort of dangled around the dress. Now, this is nice material, but I think it just needs something, so I think I might try and do something like that, but not attach it to the arms. Attach it to the dress and sort of drape down around it. Not sure yet. So I'll get cracking. Hallelujah, no more sewing. So what I've done is stitch the skirt to the body and to the pantaloons, and then stitch the whole dress onto the body, the skirt and the pantaloons to fix it in place. I didn't bother with the draping fabric because I found this lace and I thought this would look nice on the front and then sort of draped down the side. I didn't want to stitch it on because I didn't want the stitches shown, so I just put a dab of glue in the centre of the flower, so then all of these other little pieces, the leaves and that, loose, so it's like free flowing. I just done it down that side. I think that looks nice. The only thing is with putting the underskirt on it and then fitting the crinoline dress over the top, it's moved the position of the legs. I can't place them in what I could before, where the feet were far apart and the legs were like wider stretched. I can't do that now because of the shape of the dress, so maybe if I do this again, it'll have to be much more planning on how outfits work for the doll itself. So I'm gonna have a rest now, my back's killing, and then I'll get on to doing the head. I'm decorating the hat now. I put some watch dials on here. I've got quite a lot of them. I used to collect watches years ago and take them to bits. I had quite a lot of miniature cogs, well, cogs that go into watches and clocks and stuff, but just can't find them. Searched everywhere. I've just found these cogs, decorative cogs. My friend Gabby gave them to me. So I don't know, making a steampunk doll and not even prepared. So I've just got all these little bits and bobs that I am just staring at to see what I can use for accessories. I found this little propeller, just shoved it on the end of a mushroom. And some earrings. The doll's ears are not pierced. I don't know if it's because she's a ghost or what. But I know most of them's got pierced ears, but that's easily solved. So I'm just going to see what accessories I can shove on. So finally she's complete. Is she perfect? No, far from it, but I've really enjoyed creating her, and well, I'm over the moon with her. Because it was just on a whim that I decided this project. And to make over dolls, I didn't think I could do it, but I thought I'll give it a whirl and see. I mean, I've got so much to learn about the paint up of the faces. Because what I'm starting to notice is I done the face and then I done the rest of the body, and as I was putting the head back onto the neck joint, with me hands trying to force it in, I've took a bit of or is it the paint away, not the paint, the pastels and pencils that I used to colour the face. Chipped a bit of that away. I mean, I can repair that easily, but what I'm thinking is, in the future, when I get better at doing paint ups, I could maybe remove this head and replace it with a better one. Or, I don't know, I think I'll just keep her like this because she is my first one, isn't she? So, yeah, I think I'll just keep her the way she is. And I'm going to call her Bigfoot. Because, as you know, by watching me creating her, she's got one foot bigger than the other. But I have, so she's just the same as me. So, I was going to put her on my turntable, but it goes really, really slow. So, I'll just turn around slowly. I didn't bother putting like a load of cogs in there on because you can just go too far, can't you? Go over the top, adding all the accessories. I mean, when I first me sketch up of I was going to put cogs onto the dress and that, but I think that's overkill, isn't it? The dress looks fine to me. Just a shame about the legs that I can't position them the way I wanted them. But never mind. So she has done a full spin around. As I say, I just kept her original hand because quite like that. And this hand has been replaced by the Steampunk gun. Yes, so I'll just take some pictures and put them on my Instagram. And I've already got another idea for... You go over there, love. For another doll. Where is it? It's a male doll this time. I think it was, well, I don't know. I haven't got a clue what the names are. But this was like a mermaid type doll, as you can see by its hands. Don't know if the female one's called Laguna or something. Anyway, it had all this, like a fin on top of its head. I took that off. Yeah, so I'll be giving him a face up. I'll probably keep the gills in his neck because I quite like them. And I love his hands and these fins here. And I don't quite like them ones on the back of his legs, so just take them off. But the idea was, I just empty these out. I got these bits and bobs in a charity shop and I seen them and I thought these would be ideal for a doll. I just took them off a dragon. Or I could, even if these are not, if I change my mind later, I could always make some dragon wings. But I was thinking some holes in his back and putting them in like that. I think that would look quite cool. I mean, could be a dragon, demon, dragon. Don't know. I haven't done the sketches yet. Not that they matter because I'm always changing my mind halfway through. And just these tools and things. And this, I was wanting to spray paint this, well, put a primer on it. And I was wanting to somehow connect it to his head. I mean, his head's thin enough there now, but I might have to take some more of that off to get this over the top. Or maybe I could heat this up and sort of pull it out a bit. I don't know. But I just like that. I mean, it could be a helmet for him, part of his head. I don't know yet. But I'm really excited to start this project. Yeah, so Bigfoot. That's not a very girly name, is it? But if you've got any ideas on what I can call her, just leave your comments down below, please. I was going to put her on a plinth because I didn't think she'd stand, but she stands fine because she's got those big feet. Yes, so I'll be taking her around to my mum's because my mum keeps on asking me if I've finished her yet. And then she'll be going into my glass cabinet away from Ziggy. So, that's all I've got to say now. Yes. Johnny signing out. See you, bye.